Hi there. Today I'm going to be talking about the article Must Great Leaders Be Gregarious by author Susan Cain. I'm going to be giving a summary of the article and I'm going to mention some of the points I make in my annotations I made. I'm also going to be introducing an extra source I found that gives some more information about the topic. So, this article is about whether great leaders need to have an extroverted personality. So, the author, Susan Cain, starts off by giving an example of a great leader that most people should know, President Obama. And she gives a source that talks about his introverted personality and that he has an introverted personality. So, she also corrects a common misconception about the meaning of the word introvert. Introverts don't not like people. They like people just as much as extroverts do. But they do they don't want to be surrounded by people all the time and tend to prefer close friends and colleagues. So she talks about some examples of former presidents such as George W. Bush compared to former President Barack Obama because President Bush was an extrovert compared to President Obama's introverted personality. So, Cain talks about how we associate leadership with extroverted personalities rather than focusing on some more important qualities such as good judgment and vision. She then talks about Harvard Business School and West Point, which are universities that train in making the students better leaders. And at Harvard Business School, she has an interview with one of the students that says that grades are based half on class participation. So clearly, the school is trying to get the students to be more extroverted, and does this affect their leadership skills? She also gives an example down here, and she cites the study that Jim Collins did, and his study was on the best performing companies of the late 20th century. And he found that all the chief executives of the companies were known for their fierce will and dedication, and that their employees described them as reserved and understated. So clearly, these aren't words that you'd use to describe an extrovert. So most of these successful businessmen and chief executives of successful companies were introverted personalities. She then cites management consultant Peter Drucker, who's a management consultant on leaders. And he says that the only personality trait that effective leaders have in common was something that they didn't actually have, which was charisma, and they had little use for charisma. She then gives another example of a successful introvert, General Krulak. So she talks about some of his successes, and she talks about how he is a very successful leader, even though he doesn't have an extroverted personality. In this next paragraph, she also talks about how introverted personalities can provide some benefits that extroverted personalities don't, such as an innate caution that can be valuable. And she concludes the article by saying that the long list of qualities that make a great leader, that an extroverted personality would fall low on the list if it even has an impact. Alright, now I have another source, Aggie Farrell, who wrote the article Leadership Reflections on Extrovert and Introverted Leaders. So Farrell says, both extroverts and introverts hold the potential to be strong leaders. tapping into their individual strengths to lead their organization effectively. So clearly, she's stating that their outgoing personality is not what makes the difference in a successful leader. Farrell also comments that effective leaders stretch themselves to build and help grow their weaknesses and adapt their desires and strengths to help a situation or when they need to support their colleagues. Farrell compares extroverted and introverted leaders when she says that their outgoing or reserved personalities don't have an effect on their success. Instead, their success is more based on other qualities, such as good ideas and adaptability. So that's my overview of Must Great Leaders Be Gregarious by author Susan King. Thanks.